Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. I am so excited because today we are putting on our detective hats. That's right, we're diving straight into our sources to solve a totally crazy mystery of trickery called the rats and the gold. So let's jump right in.
Before we crack the case, let me ask you something directly. Have you ever caught someone telling a really silly lie? Like saying the dog ate their homework, or maybe an alien spaceship beamed up their broccoli. Well, keep that in mind, detectives, because the lie we're looking at today is an absolute whopper.
All right, Section 1, the big gold favor, and leaving town.
So our mystery kicks off with a very rich merchant. He's the guy right there in the blue shirt, and well, he's got a pretty huge problem. He just got a letter saying his sister is super sick, so he has to leave town on a long journey to go see her. But here's the catch. He has a massive bag of heavy gold at home, and he is terrified someone's going to steal it while he's gone for a few months. So what does he do? He goes straight to his best friend and asks him a huge favor, to watch this heavy bag of treasure.
The friend, he puffs up his chest and says in this super serious, dramatic voice, "Do not worry. I will put it in a strong wooden chest with many locks. No one will be able to steal your gold, and you can take it back once you return." Wow, sounds like the absolute perfect best friend, right?
So the heavy bag of gold changes hands. Look at how the merchant hands over that giant red bag, and the friend takes it, even mentioning, "Wow, this bag is really heavy." The friend has this great big smile on his face, telling the merchant, hey, what are friends for if they don't help each other out in times of need? So the merchant heads off on his trip feeling totally happy and peaceful, trusting his buddy completely.
Moving on to Section 2, the giant rat lie and the missing gold.
Fast forward a few months. The merchant's sister is feeling all better, and he finally gets to come back home. Naturally, the very first thing he does is visit his best friend to get his gold back. He happily greets him, bowing and saying, "Hello, my dear friend. It is so good to see you again." But take a look at the friend sitting there in the red armchair. He acts all shocked. "Oh, you are back," he says. They chat for just a second about the merchant's sister, and then, boom, the friend drops a massive bombshell. He says, "Good to hear that everything is fine, but unfortunately, I have terrible news for you. It's about your gold."
Okay, get ready for this one. The friend puts on this panicked, totally over-the-top voice, waves his hands around and cries, "I kept the wooden chest in the cellar, but the cellar was infested with rats. They gnawed through the wood of the chest and ate all the gold. You know they can eat almost anything." Yep, you heard that right, detectives. He actually blamed rats.
Hold on just a second. I gotta break the fourth wall here and ask you guys directly. Wait, can rats actually eat gold? I want you to really think about this for a second. Solid gold, coins. Do you actually buy this absolutely ridiculous excuse? No way. I mean, rats like to eat cheese, maybe some old garbage, but they are definitely not eating heavy metal.
So how does the merchant react? I mean, he obviously knows it's a massive lie. But does he freak out and start yelling? Nope. The friend pretends to be super sad, whining, "I feel so ashamed. It is all my fault." And the merchant? He just pretends it's completely fine. He actually says, "Don't feel guilty, my friend. It's all because of those rats." He even kindly invites the guy over to his house for dinner the next day. But our merchant is pretty tricky himself, because on his way out, he sneaks right into his friend's stables, takes his friend's absolute best horse, and hides it at his own house.
Which brings us to Section 3, the flying horse trick, and giving him a taste of his own medicine.
So, the scene is set for the dinner party, and this is where the merchant lays his brilliant trap. The friend shows up looking incredibly upset. Picture this really whiny, grumpy voice complaining to the merchant, "Yes, I have suffered a terrible loss. My best horse has vanished from my stables. I looked for it everywhere. It seems as if it has just disappeared into thin air."
Now look at the merchant just sitting calmly at the table. He pretends to think super hard for a second, and then casually claims, "Well, last night I was looking up at the sky, and I saw an owl, and it was carrying a beautiful horse in its claws." The friend absolutely loses it. He yells, "That is nonsense. How can an owl carry an animal that weighs so much?"
All right, let's break down the logic here. On one side, we have rats that eat solid gold. On the other side, an owl that can carry a heavy horse in its tiny little claws. The merchant looks right at his buddy and says, "Everything is possible, my friend. Remember, we live in a town where rats eat gold. Why are you surprised to know that owls can steal horses?" Boom, he took these two ridiculous lies and put them head to head. It's literally the perfect way to show how he trapped his tricky friend using nothing but pure logic.
And that leads in to Section 4, the value of honesty, and the trap is sprung.
This right here is the climax, the exact moment the friend realizes he is totally caught in his own web of lies. Think back to the confident liar from earlier, sitting comfortably in his red chair, thinking he just got away with stealing a fortune in gold. But now, look at his face. He's sweating, his hands are up, he is completely busted. He finally gets that the merchant knew he was lying the entire time.
So he breaks down and apologizes. He says, "Oh, you are right, my good friend. I feel so bad. I am really sorry. Please forgive me. I lied to you. I will give you back your gold." And in return, the merchant promises to give back the horse. The friend finally admits, "I fell into my own trap. Thank you for making me realize my mistake."
And that brings us to the big value pick of our story today, drawn right from our source material: honesty and accountability. Basically, that means telling the truth and taking responsibility for your actions. Guys, honesty is literally the ultimate cheat code for keeping your best friends around. When you lie, you're not actually fooling anyone, you're really just building a trap for yourself. Just like that friend did with his giant gold-eating rat story.
So, my fellow detectives, I'm going to leave you with this final, fun question. What will you do the next time you're tempted to tell a giant rat-sized lie? Are you going to build a trap for yourself? Or are you going to use the ultimate cheat code of honesty? Think about the moral of our explainer today and how you can be the best, most trustworthy friend possible. Thanks so much for learning with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.